Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, I was all prepared to attack the New York Times this morning and some of these other. I was so irritated at the coverage, and I mean, I barely know Megyn Kelly, so I don't. It's not like I have any real interest in all of this. I just get so irritated. By the way, Drudge and those people over on the right are no better. Well, they might be a little bit better. But I was all ready to attack the New York Times this morning because Deirdre had sent me an email or something that I got this morning from an outfit called Deadline Hollywood, which is some just obscure website. Megyn Kelly tops night in cable news ratings. So I'm just assuming at that point that that's the only place it is that has made note of that. Because the Times and everybody else all made note that on night one, when there was, by the way, Monday Night Football and a couple other things, that even though Megyn Kelly's new show had over 2 million people watching and had twice the audience of the other shows combined, it was a jump ball. In other words, it was pretty much even in the 25-54 category. In that demo, Rachel Maddow beat her by 10,000 people, which is out of 300,000. Come on. So the second night, what do you think happened on night two? Well, and do you think you would read about it in the New York Times? Well, yeah, you will.
Ruins everything,
It just ruins everything.
Man, hate that.
They wrote it up. Man, that was some number on night two, though.
So Bill Carter, who actually is a fairly decent guy, here's what she did. It's unbelievable. She had 623,000. She had almost 3 million people. Megyn Kelly did. She had 623,000 in the 25-54 demo. Now remember, the night before she had 289,000. So she went from 289,000 to 623,000. Well, how did the little friend Rachel Maddow do, who, by the way, is not a bad person, just between you and me, but it's irrelevant. Well, she had, let me see. Oh, darn. That's too bad.
Yeah.
She had the same as she had the night before, 291,000. Right. So Megyn Kelly has 623,000 in the demo, and Rachel has 291,000. Megyn Kelly had more people in the 25-54 demo than all of the other people combined.
That's it.
But I'm unable to scream about it because there it is in the Times.
Bill Carter got to you first.
Although they back, well, no, the headline is
not bad, right?
The first paragraph. You could get irritated about it if you wanted to, but in an impressive turnaround, Megyn Kelly, Fox News new primetime host, reversed a somewhat disappointing performance. Well, no, that's an exaggeration, but whatever. Those are big-time numbers. Hey, Warner, who won the game last night?
Oh, man, the Cardinals. That's it. 6-1, Wainwright all the way. So the Cardinals now play the Dodgers for the National League pennant.
You know, I actually didn't know. I waited to ask you.
Oh, that's
I wanted
great.
the Pirates to win.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, it would have been a nice story, but, man.
Who will win? Not that you'll know, but who do we think will win between the Dodgers and the Cardinals?
Well, again, man, it's all pitching. Now it's 4 out of 7.
Right.
So you have Wainwright and that kid Walker and Shelley for the Cardinals. Yeah. But look, the Dodgers have Kershaw and Greinke.
Well, hang on a second here. Tony, what I asked him who would win.
Well, I'm just saying.
Right? No.
Pitching rotation.
Who won?
Who will win, Warner?
Cardinals, Dodgers. I haven't decided yet.
Mike Baker, Alan Collins, Bernard McGurk, Guns Gunsman, and Deirdre Imus, the Mensa meeting. They're coming up. I have great topics for them.
All right.
And then Monica Crowley. That girl will be here. We'll talk to her about stuff. The Godfather's here. And, Tony, what did you do yesterday now?
Well, I went to talk to the art patrons of New York City.
I wanted to know if they could identify the famous artists among 3 paintings that I had.
Okay, and then where'd you go? In front of MoMA?
MoMA, yes, in front of
The
MoMA.
Museum of Modern Art, which is where? Is that located?
It's, I think it's on 53rd Street between 5th and 6th.
You think it is? Weren't you there yesterday?
Yeah, I was there, but we just walked up there.
Okay.
We got there.
Yeah.
So, and the 3 paintings you had were all done by a monkey.
Well, famous artist, Cheetah, from the Tarzan movies. Actually, one may have been done by Brent, who's a, struggling artist in Louisiana.
They were done by the 3 paintings were done by monkeys.
A chimp, yes.
Okay, so none of them were done by a human being.
No.
And what did you ask people?
Well, I asked them if they got to identify the famous artist, and then I asked them what made them think it was that particular artist, so that they would describe, the brush strokes, the
Do you
use of
have these
color.
cut yet, Bigfoot?
Yes, we do.
When can we do this?
We can do it now if you want.
How many cuts do you have?
I have 2 of them.
And how long are they?
They're both about 1:30.
Okay, we'll do it coming up.
All right.
Are they good?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we have some more.
This is good. 11 minutes after the hour. Dagan's got business news. What's coming? The president nominated, what's her name, right?
Janet Yellen, the first woman to ever have that job, the most powerful financial job in the world. We love that. Markets bouncing back, and also mobile advertising is going great guns. That's it. That's coming up.
What do you have coming up, Bernard?
We have Anthony Weiner on with your friend Sean Hannity, and Kanye West went on with Jimmy Kimmel after the big beef they had. Some entertaining stuff.
Okay. No Jimmy Fallon or Conan O'Brien or Arsenio Hall today?
I'm going to keep you guessing, boss.
Well, as I said to Connell, I didn't talk to Bernard this morning. I said, he's got to stop playing us. I mean, they're not funny. So,
Very sad.
and to just play them to demonstrate that they aren't funny doesn't do anything, does it?
True story. No, I'll go. I'll play.
I heard the Hannity Wiener thing was great. In fact, they were watching it here before the show. That was.
Very good stuff.
So if you get the crew watching stuff, it's got to be pretty good. So.
Yeah, Weiner, the typical smart ass, but he's a smart guy too. It's good stuff. Good.
How did Hannity hold up?
Very well, as you'll see.
Okay. So all that's coming up. Let's do some news now. Just ahead of Mike Baker, talk to him about how many people he's bumped off with lately.
Of course, yeah.
Talk to him about glomming that guy in Libya. What's that's all about?
Well,
Anyway, 12 minutes after the hour, and here is Connell McShane with the news. Morning, Connell.
good morning, Iman. And speaking of Libya, that's where the news is coming from this morning. We now have multiple reports that the Prime Minister of Libya has been set free. Earlier, he was snatched out of his hotel room by, a group of rebels, we think, in Tripoli earlier today. It looked to be retaliation, many people were saying, for the U.S. move over the weekend, bringing
Where
in...
does he stand? Motel 6?
Well, he'd been living in a hotel in Tripoli, this guy, Ali Zaidan, the Prime Minister of Libya, and these militants go in and they snatch him out pre-dawn from the hotel room. And just, moments ago, we had word from a number of news organizations that he's been set free. So
Why? Why'd they let him go?
I don't know.
What's the point of glomming onto the guy and then they're going to let him go? That's crazy.
Right. A lot of people thought it was retaliation at first for this move by the U.S.
Get him,
over the
slap
weekend.
him around a little bit, put a bag on his head. Make some video. Come on, let's do this.
That's good encouragement.
Terrorizing people.
Sounds
Yes.
like he might be like the dude in New Mexico that had himself kidnapped to lie to his wife or something. Maybe there's some story like that.
That was a cool idea,
Yeah.
actually. The guy had
What a story that
two
was.
friends come break in his house and kidnap him. I love that.
With masks on.
Could have been
at,
inspired by that.
He's my new hero. That and the guy up in Connecticut a number of years ago put his wife in a wood chipper. Went after he killed her. Then he stuck her in a wood chipper.
Another admirable maneuver. You're right.
Two heroes.
I hate to ask who your third might be.
I don't know if I needed to add after he killed her, he put her in a wood chipper.
No.
Because it would be hard to get her in a wood chipper if she's kicking and screaming and all that sort of thing.
Another good point. Well, speaking of
Or
Libya,
if it's like my wife, stronger than I am, then
yeah, you'd be in the chipper.
you can't get him in the chipper.
FYI, it is possible.
Yeah. Donald continues.
So this guy in Libya, Ali Zaidan, the prime minister, apparently, reportedly set free. So we'll come back to that. Back here at home, maybe a few small signs of progress in these shutdown talks. President Obama today will meet with some congressional Republicans at the White House.
We are happy to discuss any aspects of the budget. We're happy to discuss any issues.
He really is a disgrace. He's an abject disgrace.
He's also going
President is.
to meet
Oh,
with some
God.
Democrats today. So
He and that guy who's the Secretary of Defense, what's his name, Chuck Hagel?
that's him.
Man, I mean, those two really are disgraceful people.
We talked about the death benefit yesterday for these fallen soldiers and how the Fisher House
That's unbelievable.
Foundation had to step up. And, so there's been some talk of a short-term deal in terms of the budget talks to raise the debt ceiling from the Republican side of it. Congressman Paul Ryan actually has been leading that effort. Nothing really substantial to report so far, but some people say it's some sign of progress. If that deal were to happen, though, it might not open up the government. It may just raise the nation's borrowing limit because the Treasury Department says we have until October 17th to do that.
So I got Connell to tune in to Greta Van Susteren.
Yes.
For their mystery phone call.
Well, it's like 7:50 last night.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see who's called.
Did you know who called last night?
Hello, who's this?
No.
Either one of you know.
No. It's a mystery to me.
What?
It's still a mystery to me.
Well, last night it was. It's so stupid that it's.
Yeah,
But we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's made us talk about it. Yeah.
Dick Cheney, he called in last night.
Yeah, he did.
How are you?
Oh, God, is he a creep.
Pleasure to speak with you, sir.
16 after the hour, time for business news. And here with that is, what's her name? Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. That deep freeze down in D.C. seems to be thawing a little bit, and investors were soothed by that news. The Dow eked out a 26-point gain yesterday, but yowza, look at the futures this morning, a 116-point gain on the Dow futures at the moment. And Janet Yellen, yes, did get the nod from the president yesterday to take over leadership of the Federal Reserve. And then this story, front page of the Wall Street Journal, big companies are finally convinced that they can sell just about anything from snacks to soap to folks staring at their smartphones. Because in the first 6 months of this year, mobile advertising spending hit $3 billion, and that was more than double the $1.2 billion from just the same 6 months last year. So get ready to be inundated with ads wherever you go.
Do either you, Dagan, or Connell think that the government's going to fail to raise the debt ceiling?
No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
I don't. I think they'll come up with that something before.
I think they'll play chicken, though, up until the last minute, and that's just unnecessary damage it does to confidence in the markets. Unnecessary.
Because I saw the guy who runs American Express, old Chenault, talking about it last night. And
what do you say?
Well, I mean, in the 237-year history of the country, I mean, if we were to default on our bills,
right,
it'd be catastrophic.
Can I say something? Connell actually did this incredible interview with someone yesterday about this very thing, and that you can't just miss bills. Like, it doesn't work that way. They're computer systems. Connell, you did the interview.
Well, I mean, there's all this talk about how they would prioritize and pay one bill and not another. So after the X date, whatever that is, they say it's the 17th. It's probably a few days after. Some bills would come due, and the government, if it's legal, and it's not clear that it is because it's never happened before, would pick and choose which bills they would pay. So in other words, they'd say, all right, we're going to pay the interest in our debt. That most likely would be at the top of the list, and they'd pay maybe Medicare, Medicaid, on and on.
Would we still be classified as having defaulted?
Yeah, we might be.
Yes.
Oh, man, you can't do it.
No,
Absolutely.
because that's the point. We would miss other things. We would miss other bills. And, you want the Treasury Department picking winners and losers. And as Dagan said, the big deal is here, because it's never happened before, we don't know how the markets would react. It could be an absolute mess.
Connell pointed this out yesterday. You're not going to pay your defense contractors. You're going to pay Social Security benefits and the interest on the debt, but then people don't get food stamps. You don't pay people who are owed money by the government.
That's a big
I've been
deal.
screaming at the Andrews brothers for 40 years to keep me out of stuff where I'm going to lose money. So I've been in Treasury bills and stuff. I know you don't make any. You don't make a lot.
Right.
You make anything.
But you know you're getting your money back.
But you get your money back.
Right.
So so it's because you would never imagine that they wouldn't be worth anything.
No, you're exactly right. Now, and again, as we make the point, and people,
this is Boehner's fault, isn't it? Boehner and these idiot right-wing Republicans, isn't it?
well, the government shutdown part of it is, I think that's fair.
Jesus,
But
God.
this part of it, I think Boehner, and he said this to Stephanopoulos when he interviewed him last weekend. If Boehner wanted to have the fight over this debt ceiling just to extract some sort of deal from the president, but he would have raised it at the end. But the shutdown thing, he didn't want to go through.
I hate him. And the president's a coward.
Well, he hasn't negotiated either.
That's such a disgraceful performance regarding these soldiers on behalf of the president and the Secretary of Defense. there aren't. I'd have to get Dick Cavett and dig up William Sapphire and Edwin Newman to come up with a word to describe how disgraceful.
That's horrible.
The behavior of the president, and I mean, there's no way to describe it. What they've done to these families. I mean, Bernard saw somebody yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, and I thought, and all of these various people, like old, I mean, we make fun of her, but she did a good job. Old Greta Van Susteren and then O'Reilly, they did a great job covering this.
Yep.
So, and it's going to get solved because of Ken Fish and people at Fisher House and some other people, but that's not, oh, God.
No, that's a mess.
Well, how's the president get up and look at himself?
To play politics with this.
You can't do it. You can't do that. Well, they did, though.
Yep.
All right, 20 minutes after the hour. Don't wear me out, Warner, but
No.
there's some sports, and why don't you do it? Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, Iman. Game 5, they had a full house, 47,000 in St. Louis. Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-1, take the series 3-2. Now play the Dodgers for the National League pennant starting Friday in St. Louis. Adam Wainwright all the way, scattered 8 hits, struck out 6, walked only 1.
There's a game tonight, isn't there?
Oh, sure there's a game.
There's a football game tonight, too, right?
Yeah, you've got them both.
What's the football game?
Well, that's the Bears and the Giants.
Oh, that could be good.
Soldier Field.
That'll be great.
Terrible team.
0-6.
Is that a football game?
So here was, this is all the Cardinals needed in the second inning. Mike Shannon, KMOX, St. Louis.
He's set in the pitch to David Freese. Swinging a long one into left. Get up, baby. Get up, get up, get up. Oh, yeah, a 2-run home run for David Freese. The Cardinals are on top, 2-0.
What an idiot.
Who was he rooting for?
Oh, well, he's the whole time. Well, he played for the Cardinals, you know. Here was Wainwright.
The answers are for you.
Sounds like MSNBC.
Here was Wainwright on his complete game.
In my mind, if you pitch the game you should be your own closer.
That's right. You start, you're the closer.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight in Oakland, Game 5, Justin Verlander against 23-year-old rookie Sonny Gray. And Verlander and Gray both pitched shutout ball in that game, too, if you might recall.
Yeah.
With an offer from the Cubs in the works, the Yankees made Joe Girardi the second highest paid manager in baseball history, second only to Mike Scioscia. $4 million per year for 4 years. Thursday night football in Chicago tonight. The Bears 7.5-point favorite over the Giants. Take the Bears, give the 7.5. 26-17 Bears. And finally, 49ers linebacker Alden.
You're not betting on this, are you?
Oh, yeah, it's the $100, which is left. That's it.
So you're saying take the Bears and give the 7.5.
Yes.
Well, if there's a God in heaven, you'll be wrong.
Well, then we'll be even then.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, hurry up. What now?
Well, here we go. Alden Smith, he's already inactive, 49ers linebacker, undergoing treatment at a substance abuse facility after DUI arrest. He's now been charged with 3 counts of illegal possession of an assault weapon at a party at his home in which he charged $10 admission and $5 a drink. Now, that's the party where Smith fired shots off his balcony to let his guests know that the party was over and get out.
Well, 23 after the hour here in the afternoon. Well, we're already so far behind. Got Mike Baker coming up. And just can't worry about it. So anyway, Tony gets this idea to get 3 paintings all done by a monkey. And take the 3 paintings and go up and in front of the Museum of Modern Art. There are the 3 paintings, if y'all are watching Fox Business Network. All 3 of these paintings done by a monkey.
Very nice.
And so you went up to the moment to do what now, Tony?
Well, I just wanted to see if the patrons could identify who the real artist was. I mean, I said that one of the artists was a famous artist and the other 2 are up and coming.
Okay, so roll that, Bigfoot.
One of these was painted by a famous artist, and I want to know if you could tell us which one you think it is.
They all look pretty similar to me. I would say maybe this one.
What is it about that, the tan-colored one?
I think it reminds me of the Pollock that I saw inside.
How does that painting make you feel?
It makes me feel disoriented, I would say. Very chaotic.
What is it about the yellow one that makes you just think that it's the established work?
There's a definite swishing movement for me, and the colors, the way they're applied.
So you think that's like the brush technique or something like that, or just?
Well, it's not only the technique, it's the idea behind it.
Who do you think is the famous artist that painted it?
Maybe Monet or Picasso.
Why do you say Picasso?
Because they mixed colors around here.
It's interesting. It seems like things hanging from a vine that changes.
Things hanging from a vine?
Yeah, from a vine, like seasonal changes and everything.
Yeah.
I love the color. I love modern art.
Well, that's interesting that you'd say that they're hanging from a vine. I just think I never even thought that when I looked at it. But.
Well, if you look at this upper line, and these are sort of detached or falling from them, and you would think, well, here's the spring, here's the snow, here's the autumn, here's the summer growth.
Now that you say it, yeah, I'm sorry to say
Yes.
Got it. Did you tell any of them that it was a monkey?
I told a couple, and they were like, "Oh, well, that's great. That's good work. It's good work."
Hell of a monkey.
32 after the hour, 33 after the hour.
Here's my card. Tell the monkey to call my gallery.
One monkey don't make no show. Well, it does in this case. All right, time for a Bernie briefing, sponsored by My Pillow. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning, boss. Anthony Weiner went on Sean Hannity's show last night, and towards the end they had a fiery exchange. Take a listen.
You're auditioning for MSNBC. You're auditioning. You want Chris Matthews' job.
Listen,
I can tell. You want to ask the questions. You want to be Chris Matthews.
Here's the problem.
You never shut up like Chris Matthews either.
Why do you always have patsies on? You just guys. Why is it you don't want to have someone who pushes you a little bit on the basic assumptions of your argument?
Listen, you want a job at MSNBC. I got it. I know why you came here today.
Fox apparently has much lower standards. I'd much have a job on Fox.
Oh, ouch. Ooh. Want me to talk about low standards? You really want to go there?
That's pretty good for Hannity, huh?
Damn good.
All right, Mike Baker's next. My program man has served for 14 years in covert operations for the CIA. I don't know why I'm laughing. Well, I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because who knows what he did. And it looks like he's up to no good every time I see him. Mike Baker, good morning, Mr. Baker.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm doing well, and occasionally we are up to good.
That's a cool leather jacket you have, and I like that.
Thank you. I just got in here on the red eye, and I didn't have time to change.
So this deal in Libya, where they glommed onto this guy, who'd been walking around in the open there for a couple of years, I read an account of it, and I want to ask you a question about a certain word.
Sure.
And the article I read said that, I think it was probably but I mean it was, said that our government had the tacit approval of the Libyan government, which means, my interpretation of tacit means, what does tacit? The dictionary definition is it's an unspoken agreement. It's just an understanding, but my question is, I'm not asking it very well, but I'll get to it. My question is, what does it mean? Let's just pretend that you're the CIA guy, or whoever it is. It's your job to glom onto him, and somebody at Langley says to you, "We have the tacit approval of the Libyan government." What does that mean to you? What do you think that means?
Well, I think that means we can kick off the operation and get it done. I think that the agency, the CIA and Spec Ops work very closely together, and they worked closely together on this Libya operation. But when you're talking about tacit approval in an operational sense, usually what that means is that there has been an understanding between us and whichever country you're talking about, and leaders in that country, to fight this fight, to take on the war on terrorism, and not necessarily go to them every time you've got a particular operation. Or it could mean you've got the approval on a particular operation from maybe one to a handful of the key people within that fledgling government. And you got to remember, Libya is very chaotic. It's a goat rope out there.
Yeah. So somebody's had a conversation.
Somebody's had a conversation either recently, prior to the operation. You don't want to really do that, though, in a place like Libya, frankly, because nobody can keep their pie hole shut. So, and you don't know really at the end of the day who to trust. Everybody has shifting motivations and agendas.
Okay. So when the Libyan government then starts screaming about it, and I understand how chaotic the government is, you just pointed it out to us. So that's just for show in this case, or what do you think?
Basically, yeah. It's like if we do something in Pakistan and the Pakistan authorities start screaming about it. Well, or frankly, bringing it closer to home, it's like when we do something and out overseas in the war on terror, and people up on Capitol Hill, stand up outraged. They rush to the podium and they say, "I can't believe this happened." Well, you know what? They were briefed on this, and they're continually briefed on these things. So there's a game that goes on, whether it's with our own leaders or people overseas, as in Libya, where we understand they're going to stand up and showboat for their own people because they're trying to keep their necks from swinging.
What kind of watch do you have? Do you have a cool, like a spy watch or something?
I don't. I never actually owned a nice watch until just recently. My wife got me a Rolex for Father's Day, and I'm still not quite sure what to do with it because it's my past watch was about $26 and was spelled Timex. So this one I keep looking at it because it's unusual for me to have something nice like that.
So it's not a cool spy watch, though. It's just a...
Well, I can contact headquarters with it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, and it's also a blender for when I finish the day.
Back to the Libyan, back to glomming onto the guy. Why do you think we got him now when we could have got him for any time in the past 2 years? Or perhaps before even.
Part of it is operational capability, what you're able to do, what we think we can get accomplished. Sometimes you let these things run because you're trying to understand what their network looks like. So you don't necessarily jump when you've got the target locked down. You want to wait and find out who else is around them and get as much about that network as possible. So there's a variety of reasons why you would do an operation like this now instead of in the past. And sometimes it's just accessibility. Sometimes the moment occurs and you can get on the X. So.
You mentioned about Libya, nobody can keep their pie hole shut. In other words, people just talk all the time. So which brings me to something else that I'm concerned about. And then I tell everybody who works for me not to volunteer information about me or anything else ever. And it's stunning to me how much information somebody will provide if you just call them on the phone and ask them, and you can give them some bogus. You can tell, sorry, I'm so and so from the New York Times, and then, in fact, they had it was part of that in Breaking Bad. Did you watch any of that, by the way?
I did. In fact, I was just at a reception where Aaron Paul, the young fellow who played Jesse, he's from Idaho.
Oh.
And of course now I have a compound in Idaho, so it was actually terrific to meet him. Great kid.
Okay, so I say to Carly, who gets my coffee at Starbucks, I say, what's the matter?
I'm sorry. I'm sure she loves that. That's her official title, isn't it?
Oh, no, she's
there's a lot of other things.
In fact, she produced. No, she's a producer.
I'm kidding. That's why I was laughing, though.
She produced Tony's piece.
She's a producer. She produced Tony's piece. Oh, no, I say, do the people at Starbucks know who you get the coffee for? Mm-hmm. She says, yes. I said, how did they know that? She says, I told them. I said, why would you tell them? And she says, well, you get to know people, and then they say, who do you work for? And I said,
yeah, it's stunning how much information is available out there just in databases, and people talk about that all the time. People would be stunned. They talk about privacy in the NSA. Yeah. Well, what they should be worried about is all the crap they willingly and voluntarily put out there on the internet about themselves. But then getting people to talk, you're absolutely right, and thank God for that, because my company Diligence, we spend a lot of time gathering information overseas and here in the States, and it's insane. Sometimes our clients will come to us and they'll say, why would they tell you this? And they say, because we found them and we asked them.
Well, over the years in interviewing people, I ask, and I am stunned because I ask people personal questions that they'll answer them.
Yeah, absolutely. We used to, when I was in the outfit, and if you say you're on a plane, and you're heading someplace, and you sit down, inevitably, whoever's sitting in the seat next to you, they want to chat. They just can't help themselves. So they want to talk. Well, what do you want to do? You don't want to talk. But what their question is? The first question on an airplane is, well, what do you do? Yeah. So the last thing you want to do is say, well, I work for the outfit. guess what we're doing? We're going to go tag some target overseas. So you have to. The thing to do is you shut it down. You give them the most boring job you can possibly think of.
Sure.
And they stare at you with these dead eyes, and they think, oh, yeah, I've got like a 10-hour flight with this idiot. So case closed. You're done. You don't have to talk to them. But most people, when you say, what do you do? I do this all the time on planes. What do you do? I get so much information from people.
Sure.
And, most of it, what are you going to do with it? But
they
sometimes
want to talk
it's
about themselves.
Right. They love to talk. And we don't tend to be good listeners out there. You know, everybody wants to talk about themselves, but if you just take the time, it's like an interrogation. You know, that what you learn is in the silence. It's in the quiet moments. But people want to go into interrogations and start working that target, asking questions and then filling in the gaps. Don't fill in the gaps. Leave it quiet.
I tell people all the time, and you can try it as an experiment. It happens all the time. If you say to somebody, I'm going to Europe, 9 times out of 10, they won't ask you where. They will say, yeah, I was in Europe, and then they'll tell you all about their trip. Well, there's never any question, and the conversation ends. Yeah, asking you questions about your trip to Europe. They never say a word about it. Ever.
They could care less, and it doesn't matter what you say. You could say, I'm building a rocket ship. They go, you know, I was in the moon.
No, absolutely.
Last month.
I just saw this movie, or the Gravity, or whatever. Yeah. So and then Carly says, well, they're nice people. I said, you don't have any idea. Every time somebody kills a bunch of people, all the neighbors say, he was such a nice guy. He took the dog for a walk. He seemed to be nice to his mom. And then he shot everybody.
That's it. It's always a quiet one.
Yes.
But, no, and that's true. People are fishing for information out there all the time. They're looking for it. And then most of the time it's for nefarious purposes. I don't want to sound like I'm paranoid. But,
no, me either. But I mean,
it's not a friendly place out there sometimes.
People think I'm crazy but I'm not.
No. It's if people could just, although it's not good business for my business.
No.
But you know, I encourage people all the time. Just be smarter. I tell my daughter, she's a sophomore in college now, and she's been hearing this ever since she was old enough to walk.
Yeah.
Is, you know, A, don't tell people anything that you don't need to tell them, and B, don't put anything on the internet that you don't want to deal with in the next 20, 30, 40 years, because it's never going away.
Yes. All right. Always nice to see you. One of our favorite guests. So.
Thank you.
Just because, well, you're a good guest, one, but then we think about all the stuff that we know you're doing, and it's fun. So.
Well, I've got one thing that I'm doing that I wanted to mention real quick,
sure.
And this is way off the mark, but I've been traveling around the country filming a new series for the Travel Channel, and that's going to premiere at the beginning of November. And I was hoping maybe to come back at the end of this month and talk about it a little bit.
You can come on this program anytime you want.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. Mike Baker, so almost 10 minutes down till the hour. What are you doing?
Oh.
I'm letting you know we're up.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Right,
You're a total idiot.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Huh?
You asked me to
What
do
about
it.
Starbucks?
I did?
Yes.
Maybe I'm the idiot.
That's just...
Thinking about Mike Baker. You go to him.
In this, on the Mensa topics, the first topic is entitled "Another One Guns Won't Get." The men's magazine Esquire recently named Scarlett Johansson. That moment thing is funny.
Yeah, no, they were
Vines.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's, you know, when she said vines,
Things
you know,
hanging from vines.
hanging from vines, and you know, right away, because I know it was Cheetah that painted it, you know, from Tarzan. So you know, I was trying not to
Did you tell her?
No, I didn't tell her anything. I just listened to it. She was like, "Yeah, it's, you know, I can see vines."
I
and
heard it,
trees."
yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, you know, maybe she. And then I thought, wow, she is good because she, you know,
She knows her monkey art.
She knows her monkey art. I mean, man, she saw right through it. I was like, boy, I can see the trees. I can see the anger.
This woman really...
Vines.
The movement.
The movement. The movement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
You know, most of the time I don't decide what I'm going to say until I turn the mic on. Or until the guy says, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I went. But this morning, about an hour ago, I had already decided, I had worked myself into a frenzy of irritation over the New York Times and these other liberal sites and their failure to report or to mischaracterize the ratings for Megyn Kelly's. Now, why would I care about Megyn? Well, I like her, but I don't have any particular interest. I don't even know her that well. But so I come in. So Deidre sends me an email, and there's some outfit, obscure website reporting on Megyn Kelly's ratings for the second night. Remember, the first night, the New York Times and some of these other liberal websites went out of their way to characterize her ratings as not being that great. And which was not true, but whatever. She had over 2 million people watching her, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. And in the demo that they all scream about, the 2554, which is what apparently all of these shows want, because those are the people that advertisers think buy stuff, and they're right. It was fairly even with between Megyn Kelly and Rachel Maddow, although Rachel Maddow had 10,000 more people in that demo, 2554. So this email I get from Deirdre, the ratings are so spectacular for the second night. So I come in screaming to Connell and everybody else who will listen. I said, "Do you think you're going to see it in the New York Times?"
Well,
yeah, you are.
Well, at least I checked.
So they just ruined it.
Yeah, they ruined the whole thing. Well,
in the New York Times this morning, an article by Bill Carter, who actually is a fairly decent guy. These ratings for night 2 are stunning.
Yes, they are.
Now, remember, in the 2554 category, on Monday night, Rachel Maddow had 298,000 people, and Megyn Kelly had 289,000 people, a difference of 9,000 people. Pretty much even, but although Maddow had 9,000 more people. Last night, Tuesday night, Tuesday night, Megyn Kelly had 623,000 people in that demo. Remember, the night before she had 289. Tuesday night, the next night, she has 623,000 people, almost 3 million total people. And Rachel Maddow had, and she's fine, by the way, she's nice, a woman. She had what she normally has, 291,000. So Megyn Kelly beat her by almost 400,000 people.
Wow.
It's a blowout.
And unfortunately, the Times
covered it.
Right. And pointed out that Megyn Kelly draws a bigger, younger audience than night 2, so they just
ruined your whole little charade there, or rant, whatever.
Godfather's coming up. Hey, Tony Powell did something really funny. He took photographs. They had a monkey paint 3 things on a canvas, and they took photographs of it. So all 3 paintings, all the photographs of these paintings are by a monkey.
Yes.
But Tony took these 3 paintings over to the Museum of Modern Art and asked the people, the patrons, we assume, visiting the museum, could they identify the established artists, the up-and-coming artists, and did they and ask them to provide an interpretation of the paintings,
right?
And their reactions to it. Right. And it's pretty funny. So.
Yep.
And when you told people after they went on and on about the paintings that they were by a monkey, what did they say?
Well, it depends. I mean,
did they have a sense of humor about it?
Some laughed, and some were like, "Well, it's good work." Here's my card. Have the monkey call the gallery. Okay.
So anyway, that's coming up. The Godfather's here, talking about the difference between Godfather care and Obamacare.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And apparently the Cardinals beat the Pirates last night, Warner?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. 3 games to 2, and now play the Dodgers for the National League pennant.
And we don't know who's
going
to win that, right?
No, you got grade A pitchers for both teams. That's great. That's a good series.
Who do we want to win? I guess the Dodgers, don't we? Yeah.
Well, Mattingly, it'd be successful. Yeah, nice. And, here's a guy who was almost fired. They told him he's going to be gone unless you turn it around.
Oh.
And he did.
Yeah. So. And then there's another game tonight, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the 5th game, Tigers and A's. The winner will then play the Red Sox for the American League pennant.
And the New York football Giants go to Chicago.
That's right.
To play the Bears.
You've got it.
So that's on TV tonight.
Yes, sirree.
So that's a pretty good deal. Anything coming up in a briefing, Bernie?
He's not there.
He's coming over here for the Mensa meeting.
Every week.
And you would think I could look at the empty chair.
That's 3 in a row, Clint.
Yeah,
3 in a row. 3 weeks in a row.
So I wonder where Bernie is. Well, he's on the way over for the Mensa meeting. He and Guns. Well,
Subway, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he'll have something probably.
I would think.
Maybe more of Anthony Weiner with Hannity.
That was fun.
That was pretty good too. I'll tell you how good that was. I walked in there this morning, and the crew was in the back there watching it. So if they're watching something, then it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good line by Hannity that we played. So
what's coming up in business news, Dagan?
Free French fries. That's all you need to know.
Okay. All right, let's do some news down here with that. It's Connell Machine. Morning, Connell.
All right. Good morning, Iman. Very strange story this morning involving the Prime Minister of Libya. He's now been set free. At least that's the report after being abducted earlier in the day. The Prime Minister, Ali Zaidan, was living in a hotel room in Tripoli. So armed militants stormed into that room before dawn took him away. But now, again, we're hearing he's free. There's been some reporting that maybe the Libyan military or security forces played a role in getting him back. In other words, his captors didn't set him free, didn't let him go. So, again, sketchy right now. More to come on all of this. There'd been some thinking the whole thing had been in retaliation for the United States move over the weekend to bring in this guy suspected of being involved in the 98 embassy bombings. But
well, why would they glom on? I mean, the question is, why would they glom onto him and let him go?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. And maybe they didn't do that the Libyan security forces had something to do with it. We don't know yet.
Doubtful.
Found out where he was and got him back somehow. But by the way, he's back in full force, Ali Zaidan. He's now tweeting. In fact, he tweeted moments ago, "I'm fine, thank God." That's the Prime Minister of Libya back on Twitter. Hey, you remember Edward Snowden, right? The NSA leaker? Well, he's back in the news as well. His dad is visiting him over in Russia. His father, Snowden's father, arrived in Moscow. He'll see his son who received...
That is the worst hairpiece of anybody I've ever seen anywhere.
Didn't see it right away. Mr. Snowden's?
Yeah, he looks like he looks like a fat Liberace, doesn't he?
No, absolutely, he does. Absolutely does. Yep, that's exactly what he looks like.
He looks like he's wearing a hair hat.
Right.
You know, he just grabs it and clunks it on his head.
Get through customs with that, all right? Go into Russia. Yeah.
What a weird-looking dude.
Have you brought anything into our country, sir?
Right.
At least in terms of the debate down in Washington, at least they have meetings on the schedule now, so I guess you would call that progress. President Obama getting together later today with House Republicans.
We shouldn't even be in this situation in the first place. I mean, it makes no sense.
There you go. So there's been some talk led by Congressman Paul Ryan of a short-term debt ceiling increase, so that is apparently now on the table as well. We do have our Nobel Prize of the day, Iman. So every day this week, consistently, we get these Nobel Prizes handed out.
Oh.
Today it's literature. The Canadian writer Alice Munro winning the Nobel Prize in literature. So her mastery of the contemporary short story wins it for her. Last year, as you know, the award went to Mo Yan of China. This year it was Alice Munro. Canadian writer, so short stories. So congratulations to her. We've had them every day. Physics, economics, on and on. So chemistry yesterday.
Right.
So that's out there as well. Okay. You're fully informed.
14 after the hour. Time for a little business news. That's probably sponsored by somebody. Probably that Altivia. That stuff, that cream you rub on if you hurt. Anyway, here with that is taking my time. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. Futures are rocketing higher as those folks in D.C. are making nice 124-point gain on the Dow futures right now. And two pieces of news from the world of fast food. Number one, McDonald's will tuck 20 million children's books into Happy Meals during a 2-week period next month. So your kids might be fat, but at least they'll be literate. And then over at Burger King.
Very good point.
Free French fries at Burger King this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But these are the new Satis fries, the lower calorie, lower fat French fries.
What do you mean free? You mean
free? Go in and get you some free Satis fries.
So you don't have to buy anything?
I don't believe you have to have a coupon or anything. Burger King expects to give away more than 10 million orders of fries this weekend.
Well, find out if you have to buy anything.
I don't believe you do.
It's a dangerous one in this country. There could be riots. Free French fries?
One per customer limit. That's it.
Like drug dealers.
Like the day after Thanksgiving.
It's quarter after the hour here in the Imus Morning Program. Time for sports, sponsored by Fearless Boilers. And here with that is Warner Wolf. Morning, Warner.
Good morning, Iron 47,000 in St. Louis. The Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-1, take the series 3-2, now play the Dodgers for the National League pennant. Adam Wainwright all the way, scattered 8 hits, struck out 6, walked only 1. Here was a big hit, 3-1 Cardinals, bottom of the 8th inning, John Rooney, KMOX St. Louis.
The pitch, a swing and a long one. It's way out of here. A two-run homer for Matt Adams.
Here was Adam Wainwright on the secret to his complete game.
I didn't even look over here when I was up to bat that last inning. I didn't even go by him. I walked out of the middle of the dugout and went out there. I didn't even look back to see if I could swing or anything. I just wanted to go up there. I didn't want him to make eye contact with me at all.
That's the way you do it. Don't look at the manager. Stay away.
Well.
Tonight in Oakland, Game 5, Justin Verlander against 23-year-old rookie Sonny Gray, who, by the way, is a very nice gesture, I-man. Last night gave his 2 allotted tickets to a waiter. You know what the waiter said?
No.
Now, Verlander and Gray both pitched shutout ball.
You'll never believe it, but a lot of thought went into that. You won't even believe how much planning went into that.
Meetings.
I think we had a committee about 20 minutes ago.
Well, at least
Warner was really going back and forth about that one. I know you'll find it hard to believe. But it certainly worked out.
Oh, my God.
So Verlander and Gray, you might remember they both pitched shutout ball in Game 2.
You're an idiot.
Thank you. Won by the A's. Shouldn't talk about you, Lou, like that.
I'm talking to you,
Oh,
you midget.
okay. Hey, wait a minute now.
No.
The winner tonight's game plays the Red Sox for the American League pennant.
Oh, great.
Joe Girardi, whose Yankees finished 8 games over 500, despite all the injuries to his entire infield except for Robinson Cano, has re-signed with the Yankees 4 years, average $4 million per year. Thursday night football in Chicago, the Bears 7.5-point favorite over the winless Giants. Take the Bears and give the 7.5.
Okay, Warner. This is your last $100 you can bet, you know.
Well, I'll be even after that if we lose.
Yeah.
That's how we started the season, even, right?
Yeah, where'd you get the money then? That's true.
Yeah.
You forget you also picked Matto and the 400,000 points.
So that's
we're going to have a discussion. If you lose tonight, we'll have a discussion about where you're going to get the money and what you have to do to get the money.
The guidelines.
I can have
It's 18 after the hour. Here the Imus Morning program. Deirdre has, she's part of the Mensa Media. She has 5 new favorite songs. Atlantic City, Levon Helm. Down with Webster's version of Rich Girls. Kings of Leon, Use Somebody. Hayes Carl's Long Way Home. And this from Guns N' Roses.
You were young and your heart was an open book. You used to say, live and let live. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in.
That crazy bastard's going to be at Madison Square Garden. That's right. You could get tickets. They're probably going to, I mean, man, they'll be gone pretty soon. This guy is an absolute, flat-out, solid gold-plated genius. He'll be there for one night only. Theater, Madison Square Garden on November 25th. Tickets are on sale this Friday morning at 11 a.m. You don't get them then, you're not going to get them. So Van Morrison, November 25th at the Garden. All right. 25 after the hour, the Mensa meeting's coming up, but it's time now for a Bernie briefing. And that's sponsored by MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, type in the word Imus, get 25% off. Right here with the briefing is Bernard McGirt. Morning, Mr. McGirt.
Morning, Mr. Imus. Last night, Jimmy Kimmel had Kanye West on. They had a beef. Short story is Kimmel turned into Kanye's bitch, pretty much. He was stuttering and stammering. We'll get to that some other time. But he also did a segment called Celebrity Mean Tweets. He had these musicians, for the most part, read mean tweets about themselves. It was amusing. Take a listen, Chief.
All right.
Tonight, in honor of Kanye West's appearance, we bring you a special musician edition of Mean Tweets.
I hate when people ask me why I hate Selena Gomez. Like, I just do.
John Legend seems like he cries after sex.
If Jared Leto can suck my
That Demi Lovato song, Make It Stop, please.
I'd rather hear Morgan Freeman talk me through masturbation than hear Darius Rucker sing a power ballad.
Jack Brown Band, your music used to be good, and I could jam to it, but now it sucks major. Fix it, holy.
Lady Antebellum singing the national anthem actually kind of makes me hate America.
Pharrell looks like a sewer rat. John Mayer looks like a booze-soaked turd wrapped in a Dumb and Dumber tux.
So Adam Levine is old. Thinking of unfriending everyone on Facebook whose status update is Kid Rock concert was awesome. Have a little respect for yourself.
Mayor Hawthorne looks and sounds like a
Kesha is a crack whore.
I don't know your music because I don't drive a pickup and I don't sleep with my sister. Fair enough.
2 Chainz. Looks like Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, man, that was a funny idea.
Yo, that's funny, man. That's funny right there.
Jimmy Kimmel, why he's not number one is way beyond anybody's imagination. All right, 28 after the hour. The Mensa meeting's next. Anyway.
Man. On that note, right? Well,
having a mental patient coughing fit.
That's so annoying.
Come on.
Annoying.
It's really
annoying that I'm coughing?
God.
25 till the hour here in the Imus and Morning program. Alan Combs is here.
Yeah,
That's a great-looking shirt and tie.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
And jacket, the whole thing.
It's a clip-on suit.
The shoulder looks pretty good.
Yeah,
No back. He needs all the help he can get.
Hey, you should talk.
Yeah, really.
Guns. As a
You look, I mean, I can't tell you, you look so bizarre.
You know what?
First of all, you're
He's just missing a front chip tooth, isn't he?
Do you water your hair?
I look good
Becoming
today,
a caricature of
Could be
himself.
Alan's son.
This is
Don Kingston-looking individual.
This is style, and your wife
What
loves it.
style?
I don't know.
My wife is patronizing
No,
you.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I would tell him. He
No,
is
you wouldn't tell him.
adorable.
You're
You have to
funny.
admit. Isn't he adorable?
Like I
Can't
said
you be
before, he's
objective?
got the muscle tone of a salamander.
And he's pasty white. And
I still get more women than Alan ever did. So you know.
Alan's doing fine.
What is he
That
supposed
is
to
the mark
do?
of a good man. Yes.
More women than Alan.
What is he supposed to do about being pasty white? Get a tan? Go to the tanning salon?
Get some color.
How?
Some vitamin D, the sun.
Drink some carrot.
All right. Why am I screaming?
I have no idea.
Really?
It's time for the Mensa meeting with Alan Combs, Bernard McGurk, Deirdre Imus, and Mike Gunzelman. All right, here's the topic number one. The headline is Another One Guns Won't Get.
All right.
The men's magazine Esquire recently named Scarlett Johansson the sexiest woman in the world. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, she's very sexy. I know. There's no one's the sexiest person in the world, but she's, very
I'm just offended by the objectification of women.
Oh, please.
I mean, I really am. Seriously. What is she, just a piece of meat?
Why isn't Bernie here today?
And by the way, I saw sexier babes when I was walking in this building this morning. I mean, there was sexy babes all over the place. Just another cheap, stupid publicity ploy on the part of these idiots. I mean, with all due respect to Dice Clay, I do it for laughs. But I mean, like I said, there are women in New Delhi and in Sweden that are just as sexy, if not sexier than this chick.
All right. The news was, I didn't realize Esquire was still in print.
Who reads that?
That's like the only thing they're known for now, isn't it? When they put the sexiest woman in the world, what they call the sexiest woman in the world.
Dude,
but I love Scarlett Johansson. I think she's beautiful.
Right.
And it's all about Hollywood actresses. Who's ever hot in the moment, they pick from that group and they put them. And so it's yeah.
Let's see what she looks like when she's Deirdre age, when she's pushing 60.
Yeah.
Let's see what she looks like then.
Yeah, that's a good point. How old are you, 49?
49?
I was
pretty
kidding.
good.
It'd be good. You know what? I like that, Bernard. No, but that's cool because women like that. It's cool that you guys are saying that.
Yes,
Because you're
absolutely.
somewhat being honest. Some of it I know you're just kind of making it up.
No, I'm all about the older baby.
But you're right. To put a 49 or 50-year-old on would be kind of cool.
Say How old is Scarlett Johansson?
She's like 28.
Okay.
So it's easy. It's like, what 28-year-old doesn't look good?
I think she got a great body. Her face is so-so. I think like Mila Kunis or someone like that's pretty hot. But I do love MILFs. You know what MILFs stand for, right?
What? Yes, I do.
Okay, just making sure.
You want to tell us?
You're still
My
hip for
son
us.
explained that to me.
Oh, yeah, my boy Wyatt. Yeah.
Mila Kunis looks like she's
No, actually, Weston Hughes and my son, who are unfortunately are friends, their whole life revolves around that. So
yeah, it happens.
Weston said to a kid one time, I won't say who, but another kid Weston Hughes is
don't say who.
Is a fabulous calf roper. He's 16 years old. He's unbelievable.
He really is.
And his dad's great too, Scott. So Weston says to another kid who he doesn't like, "This is the only thing you got going for you is a hot mom."
That's awesome.
I know.
So he's 15 years old. So Mila Kunis is yours, and
I think she'd be at least better than.
Do women relate to this, Deirdre, or not?
I don't know any women that do, but I think, I mean, it does. It's like, okay, what about everyone else? You're right. There's a lot of beautiful women out there, but they're only going to go with Hollywood actresses. So
at least it's not Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember when
that's all
she won that
That's
thing?
what it's all about.
Gwyneth
Promoting the
Paltrow's
movies
a
and
disaster.
who?
Gwyneth Paltrow is a disaster. Remember she won one of these things?
Well, actually, Scarlett, she's the only one that's been on the cover twice for this. No other woman. I like Gwyneth Paltrow.
She happens to have a hit movie out now. They're jumping on the bandwagon. I don't know.
It's all a PR machine. It's part of the
yeah, it's just part of the whole business of Hollywood. You know, everyone kissing each other's butt. That's all it is.
21 till they are. We're in the middle of them discussing weighty topics here. So there's a conversation going on now. It's been going on for some time to change the name of the Washington Redskins. Now, I can report that the Onion announced yesterday that the Washington Redskins have agreed to change their name to the D.C. Redskins.
Yeah, very good.
But
that's progress.
Yeah.
But your view on that?
I don't really care. I don't care. That's a sports thing.
It's actually,
right?
you know why?
I
Because
just
the
don't
Native
care.
Americans don't really have anyone that can speak
Would you
up.
care if they were called the
They don't
Washington?
have an Al Sharpton or.
If they were called the Washington Darkies?
Well, you know, you make a very good point.
Yeah.
But
This is actually one thing. This is
guess
the only thing I actually agree with you on because I'm a Skins fan, Washington Redskin fan. I have no problem with it.
who are the people saying, "Oh my God, this is just
It's
horrible"?
a pejorative.
But
It's not.
you know
It's
what?
not positive. Why would you think that's okay?
Because when I think of the Redskins, I think about how bad or hopefully how good we're going to be this year, and not about what the term actually means. I really
well, then
think,
maybe you should start. That's
okay.
pretty shallow.
All right, I'll go back to
All of a
school.
sudden, they're just politically correct. You know, all of a sudden.
I'm going to go back to
Let's
school.
be fair. I mean, again, the Native Americans don't have anyone sticking up for them, and everyone's okay making fun of them too. I think it's wrong.
Okay.
I agree with Alan. This is a ginned-up controversy by some PC, guilty white liberals. Is what it is. However,
I'm a guilty
at
white
this
liberal,
point,
but I'm not.
they have done polls. Most Native Americans don't really care, just as Alan said.
Oh, really?
But
I'd
yes,
like to
they
see
have.
that.
But
More
now,
Native
but now more and
Americans
more,
say
maybe they're
that.
creating awareness. It's inevitable. It's like gay marriage. They're gonna have to change it.
They should change the name.
I don't think they're going to change it.
Okay, so I
They should
grew
be
up.
forced to change it.
I grew up among the Hopi and Navajo Indian nations.
Right.
And I can take you out. I could take you out today to Monument Valley, and into a room full of Navajos. And if you said, "Hey, how are you Redskins doing?" There would be a fight.
They'd kill you.
So it's never used
if
as
they-
anything other than as a pejorative.
That's true, but if they walked in and said, "Hey, how about the Redskins today? Did you see what's
they
his
won the
name,
Super Bowl,
RG3?"
RG3,
They would not be offended.
Why
by
is this
that.
happening? All of a sudden, how long have the Redskins been the Redskins? How many years?
For over 40 years.
So now, all of a sudden, it's offensive.
Exactly.
Suddenly,
Well,
it's offensive.
because your president had to say something about it.
How long did we have slavery in this country?
Well, no, Obama's right about it.
Oh,
Obama's right about
You're
that. I'm glad
comparing
he's...
the name Redskin on a sports team to slavery.
Yes.
Yeah, because slavery happened
you're
for a
saying-
long time.
That's the same thing as a white plantation owner having a black.
No, he's showing
No,
you
I'm
how
not comparing
specious your
it to-
argument is here,
I'm not
Alan.
comparing it to slavery. You said, "How long has it been that?" As though it's okay because
Exactly,
it's been
like
that way
that's
for
an
some time.
excuse because we've been doing
I
it
think
for
they're
so
playing
long.
homage.
Yeah. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
They should change it. President Obama's right about it. I'm glad he said something.
Well, I'm glad to see you agree with my
For
president.
example, the Atlanta Braves, I don't think
president,
it's
too.
offensive at all. So I think the
Blackhawks, Seminoles.
The Chicago
but that's the
Blackhawks,
name
I
of
think
a
is
tribe.
fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. Towns and cities are named after
Cleveland
Native American
Indians?
tribes.
Okay, all right.
That's different. It's not a
Even
pejorative.
Black Hawks, by the way.
Right, Blackhawks.
Right.
No,
just
yeah,
be
Black
careful
Hawks
the way you say it.
Oh,
the Midwest way.
Even more
You need to
offensive,
enunciate.
which I've screamed about for years, doesn't make any difference, but are the Cleveland Indians with that Uncle Tom
Another one that's horrible.
drunk-looking,
Right.
bigoted logo they have, which is absurd, and they all think it's fine. So
it's an outrage.
Yeah.
See, people, it's a double standard, Alan. The fact
But
that
you're
you're
right,
okay
they're gonna
with
have
that.
to
But
change
then,
it.
if there were any
Wait,
pejorative
we actually agree on something. You still want to attack me.
African-Americans or
We
anyone
actually
else.
finally agree on something, and you want to come after me. What's the matter with you?
What was the St. John used to? What would St. John used to be?
Redmond.
Okay, so
Right.
they changed that to whatever they are now, right?
Red Storm.
Yeah.
Exactly right. No, the pressure will never end. I mean, it just won't ever end. At some point, they're going to change it.
Good.
Do you have a dog?
I did. No, I don't have one now.
What happened to your dog?
Well, the
Did we
dog
have
died.
this
I mean, 17-and-a-half-year-old beagle. It's over.
Okay. Was it your wife's dog or yours?
Well, it was hers originally, and the dog then approved, so we could continue our relationship.
I know what I need to get you for Hanukkah.
Oh,
When
no,
did the dog
I was
die?
told, don't come home with a puppy.
need a
Don't surprise me.
puppy. You need a
When
puppy
did
in
the
your
dog?
life.
Did you have to put the dog to
We
sleep?
did have to, yes. This is a very enlightening
That's
conversation.
horrible.
You have a dog.
I do, yes.
What's your dog's name?
Zuzu. Little,
And you have number dogs.
Oh, God. I love dogs.
You have a dog.
No.
My roommate's got one. I used to have fish. They all died.
Well, the fish are going to die. All right.
And then you ate them.
Well, recent research suggested that dogs are like people based on their ability to express positive emotions like love and.
Well, it's unconditional love. That's what's great about it. They don't judge you.
No, they
like
do
people
judge you.
Oh,
No, they
if you
do.
feed them.
They do. We have a dog. Only one of our dogs of many dogs we have. Little Virgil. She totally judges. And she's a phony. She could be very phony. So they
Your
do
dog
have.
is a phony.
But you assign
She
anthropomorphic
can't be a phony.
abilities to these animals,
No.
which is absurd. So.
And they have souls, by the way. I heard you and Stuart Varney talking earlier, and I've heard O'Reilly say, too, they don't agree that the dogs have souls. Do you believe a dog has a
Yes,
soul?
I do believe that.
Yeah, so do I. They absolutely do.
I'm agreeing with you too much today.
I know, right?
I love dogs. They have certain qualities, loyalty, but it's all utilitarian in the end. They love you unconditionally because you're the person who takes care of him or it or whatever. But listen, I'm not going to denigrate, have half the population out there hate my guts. I love
late.
dogs. They have great
Dogs are
qualities,
fine.
but they're not people.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
They're
you don't
not,
see people
obviously.
going around sticking their noses in other people's butts.
Yeah, they do.
Weren't you the one that
They do.
weren't you the one that would rather have saved a dog that was drowning than a person that was drowning? Wasn't
When I
that?
was asked that question,
Oh, I would.
yes, my
I would.
answer was I would.
And we agree again because
Oh man, what is going on?
dogs are nicer than people.
Yeah, dogs are amazing.
Oh.
Dogs are,
Well, no,
I mean,
they're fine. I like dogs.
You need a dog then to experience that because you don't know what you're
okay.
missing. You literally don't know what you're missing.
Well, your roommate has a dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a dog.
Well, look, you're like
it's a
a
black
puppy.
lab. It's chill. I just let it do
His
its
roommate
thing.
is his mother.
Good to have you in program. All right.
My sister's the dog.
ATT. That's not good. That's awful.
Oh, it
You
happens.
really are an animal.
Yeah.
So do you have a girlfriend now, by the way?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you don't?
No.
So what happened? The other one said because you weren't Jewish,
Yeah,
right?
I was dating her for a couple months. She thought we were dating 10 months. I thought like 3. And
You had to be Jewish?
and
That's what she
so I wasn't Jewish,
didn't
and
know
she
that
broke
day
up with
one
me.
that you were not Jewish? She
Yeah,
just
that was
found
the
out you
thing.
were-
She came back after Yom Kippur, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
she
You
came
said?
back from being home with the family, and they all freak out or whatever, and so we broke
They're like,
up.
"Get
She
rid of
broke up
guns."
the next day legitimately and was like, "You're not Jewish."
Keep
And
telling-
it's not like she didn't know he wasn't
Yeah,
Jewish.
we knew this the whole time.
The whole time.
Keep telling yourself that that's the reason why.
Sure, well, that's exactly right.
You're that easy, pal.
No, I told her I wish she cheated on me or something, because then I could hate her,
Right.
But like, what is this about? Like,
Right.
What about converting?
but we never
She
even
didn't
had that
even give him the
conversation.
opportunity.
I
He
like how
said
your
he-
wife knows all about this.
Yeah,
See?
well,
We
you
bond.
talked to me about it. I'm like,
we
because
bond.
I asked that question, I'm like, Gunn said I would have at least entertained the idea, like if she
Yeah.
gave me that opportunity.
See, women.
You know, I
are
wasn't going to
awful.
talk about this, but I'm going to because I'm kind of curious.
Right.
I'll start with you, Alan. Do you think the government
Here we go.
will fail to raise the debt ceiling?
No,
Would you
they're
think
not
will
that
default?
stupid. I think they're going to have to raise the debt. By the way, the debt ceiling is a phony issue because that's money already in the budget, already accounted for. It's not like we're actually raising our debt. The debt ceiling is not raising the debt, and we'd be defaulting on our bills, and they're
Paying
not.
the bills,
they're not
yeah.
as stupid as they are. They're not that stupid.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
They're all posturing. Nobody wants to not raise the debt ceiling. It's all a game. They're all posturing, and these idiots should get it done. They're getting paid to take care of it, and we're getting sick of it.
Because it would be catastrophic.
Well, yeah, we lose our credit in the world. It becomes a huge problem.
The problem is, of course, that we're spending money we don't have. We continue to borrow from China, and we're getting deeper into debt, and it's a
You've also got a Republican
generational
Party.
theft.
You got a party at its lowest point ever. 28 or 38%.
They're just frustrated because you guys are in there and you won't do anything about the spending.
Won't do anything about the spending. Obama agreed to 2008 spending levels. He already did negotiate, by the way.
Well, anyway,
Obamacare is going to help out as well, right?
It will help you.
The thing that I think is...
I already got all my vaccines.
Hopefully they also do, and that's because they also do mental health. That's what I think.
On that note, that concludes this edition of the Mensa Meeting. 12 minutes to the hour. I don't know who's coming up on there.
Well,
Monica Crowley, rather.
Monica, yeah, she'll be
that
great.
girl will be here. Talk to her. And then Bernie's got some funny stuff in a briefing. And may even try to get him to do that rock stars reading bad tweets about themselves.
That was funny.
Which is hilarious, from Jimmy Kimmel. And then Tony Powell up at the Museum of Modern Art with these 3 photographs of art that was done by a monkey. I mean, people going in there into MoMA, interpreting the art. Pretty funny. 5 till the hour. All that coming up.
Imus in the morning.
You know who's good and funny is Alan Combs.
Mm-hmm.
He's always good. And Guns is good. Guns is smarter than you think he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Not a dope at all.
Well, he didn't kind of.
Huh?
Fordham alum, right?
That's yes. And Lou.
You don't want Lou?
Yeah.
Breen?
Right. I don't know if we.
You want to claim Guns?
Well, I guess.
I mean, you went there.
He did, yes.
How Carly is.
Hopefully over at Starbucks telling.
Hey, Carly.
Telling everybody she's getting coffee.
Carly.
Hey,
what are you doing? What'd she say?
She's putting stuff in
She's
Monica
producing.
Crowley's segment.
Doing her
She's
job.
producing, yeah.
Monica Sully.
Crowley.
I'll have some more coffee.
Yep. Hey guys, this is for Imus. You know.
I'm dehydrated. I can't.
I'll call somebody's office, and they'll say, "Well, he's not here. Where is he?" I'll tell you.
Yes,
sir.
You know, Connell, yesterday they're doing Fox Business is doing some kind of documentary on the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So he interviewed me and Deirdre.
Yes, sir.
He's really good.
He's really good.
No, I mean, he's as good as I am.
Well, no.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
That's not.
I was shocked. Well, I mean, I wasn't shocked completely, but
Thank you, I-Man.
it was really good.
Well, you guys were great. This is going to be good.
Shut
to
up,
see
Connell. I'm talking to
I see.
Dagan.
I'm
God,
sorry about
where
that.
does it say Connell butts in?
Oh,
Jesus. Do you hear that, Bernie?
Will he ever learn?
Hey,
Jesus, honest to God.
What time's our flight, Alicia? I'll ask him.
So I just wanted to tell Dagan to get digging.
You're telling me to step up my game, is what you're telling me.
Well, I'm just saying that you're always ragging on Connell. He was pretty good. So
No, I usually rag on him about his masculinity, not about his professionalism and ability to do his job.
Well, I was the only one on the set there because Deirdre can put makeup on herself, and she didn't even need any makeup. That girl was pretty good.
Yep.
And, of course, I'm sitting there with my hair. I haven't had a haircut in 3 months.
Yeah.
And I already look like an old lesbian.
Sure.
And so it's just not a good. So it's not a good day. So and Connell is almost a girl.
Yes.
Practically. Yeah, 75%.
Very
right.
pretty.
So he's got.
Very pretty. Exactly right. Yeah.
He's got his makeup, so but it was fine. But anyway, I just wanted to show you Connell's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
You know what I'm sitting there thinking about? As my brother Fred, how much I miss him, and Levon Helm. Isn't that weird?
No, not really.
And I do that almost, not every day, but well, often. And sometimes you think that they're not dead, but they are. That's weird. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't know. Nothing you can do about it. As far as we know, there's nothing you can do about it. So Tony Powell had a great idea. He had these 3 paintings. He took photographs of these 3 paintings. Now, the 3 paintings were done by various monkeys, not by human beings. So he takes the 3 photographs of the paintings over to the Museum of Modern Art here in Midtown Manhattan in New York City, and he solicits critiques of the paintings from people walking into the Museum of Modern Art. We're going to do that in just a second. So, but as any big news headlines, and please don't tell me it'll lead with the rain.
It's going to rain today. It's already started, I mean.
Okay, good.
Man,
That's
that
good.
is huge. Libya, the prime minister over there, he was snatched out of a hotel room earlier, showed his face over in Tripoli, so we know he's free. So he's there. And then Jack Lew, the Treasury Secretary, has just started to testify in Washington about what might happen if the debt ceiling's not raised. So that's just starting also. So,
well, it's a consensus almost among the consensus would be everybody.
Right.
That they are going to raise the debt ceiling, that we're not going to default on our...
In this room, I guess, but it's not a complete consensus. You talk to these people in Washington.
Really?
Nope.
There's not. I mean, and you know what I think is somewhat irresponsible? A lot of people running around saying, oh, it's no big deal if it's not raised. We'd have plenty of money to pay our debts. But they leave out the details. They just give you like a headline on that.
Well, we would default.
Right. Well, we wouldn't.
For the first time in 237 years.
Right. We wouldn't necessarily default on our debt. So you see, that's the difference. So they'll say, oh, we have money to pay the interest in our debt. And we might, because there'd be money coming in every day from tax receipts. So we'd say, all right, let's pay the debt.
But what would these Treasury certificates be worth?
Well, that is the question. We don't know. We don't know how the market would react to that if we're missing other payments. You know, you're missing, as Dagan pointed out earlier this morning, payments to defense contractors or who knows, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all these things that the government has to pay. If you miss a payment, what happens in the markets? We don't know. It's never happened before, literally.
You have no idea what the disruptions would be.
Well, the guy who runs American Express, pretty sharp guy, Chenault.
Yeah, Ken Chenault.
I saw an interview with him yesterday, and he said it would be catastrophic.
It might be. But it's never happened, so we don't know. So that's the thing. So when people say, oh, it's no big deal, they don't know. They don't know that because they don't know how the financial markets
So do either one of you do this stuff all the time, do either one of you have any idea what's going to happen? Do you have a prediction?
I predict that they will raise the debt ceiling and there won't be a problem. But again, even as they're playing chicken, getting close to the date, you cause uncertainty unnecessarily.
It's a risk not worth taking. I mean, we've shut the government down before. And you get through that, it's totally different. This has never happened before.
All right, so we'll just teeter on the precipice of uncertainty here on the Imus Morning program.
As usual.
Anyway, coming up, Monica Crowley, we'll talk to her about, I don't know. You know, every time I talk to her, I like her. That's why we book her. But I get the feeling of some of these people that they memorize, in her case, these right-wing talking points, and then they come in here and you ask them questions, and that's why I don't even listen. So, I mean, sometimes I listen. So.
What do? You think about something?
I think about something completely different.
Oh, I see.
And, or I ask them different stuff, so. Because you don't feel, I'm not suggesting this is the case with Monica Crowley, but many of these guests, you don't feel that you're getting spontaneous answers. You're just getting nonsense, which is why we don't book a lot of them. So, and on that note, let's go to the Godfather now. Don Corleone is here with his thoughts on Obamacare and Godfather care. Good morning, Godfather.
Good morning, Don Imus. So my godson is having difficulty with this Obamacare plan of his, which I do not understand, as I am very familiar with the concept of affordable health care. Yet I never have a problem getting people to purchase it. The only difference is I call it protection.
Right.
And I do not have some fancy website you can't get into or an 800 number that is always busy. And my plan is not confusing. I merely have one of my men visit you at your place of employment and explain it to you, to your face. You come up with a weekly premium, and you are protected against every imaginable health threat. God forbid you should be fall down a flight of stairs. Because, sono cose che succedono. Merda happens. Unlike Barakanucci's plan, you cannot opt out of Godfather care. Not if you value the use of your thumbs, anyway. Needless to say, I have a pristine 100% enrollment. And I will add, we do have death panels. So what my godson needs to do is act like a man. Enough with the websites and the 800 numbers and the negotiating with questo pianto bambino e febo con la pelle della colore di una zucca. This crybaby Finocchio with the skin the color of a pumpkin. Boehner. Obamanucci must take the gun he says he won't have pointed at his head and point it at this whiny orange Julius and say, I'm not leaving until I have either your signature or your brains on this contract, capiche? He will cry like a woman. But he will sign.
11 minutes after the hour. All right, do some news now.
All right, thank you
Quickly,
very much
though.
for that. Well, this Prime Minister of Libya showed his face there a little while ago, and he was just mobbed in Tripoli after having himself quite a day. Ali Zaidan, the Prime Minister. It all started when he was snatched right out of his hotel room in Tripoli in a move that looks to be retaliation for the U.S. move over the weekend, bringing in this guy thought to be connected to the 98 embassy bombings. But if you're watching Fox Business Network now, video of him as he came out and mixed it up with the people a little bit, I guess, to show that he's okay, Ali Zaidan.
Oh, thank God.
Well, we don't know how he was freed. There were reports the Libyan military was involved in getting him back and that his captors didn't just let him go. So there it is.
Goat-sucking weasel.
We talked about Treasury Secretary Jack Lew starting his testimony. Well, we may have a few signs of progress in Washington. Big meetings today, man. President Obama getting together with some congressional Republicans later on at the White House.
We are happy to discuss any aspects of the budget.
The business report sponsored by Ativia for natural pain relief. Pick up Ativia at your local Vitamin World at 12 minutes after the hour. Here is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. Taking a look at the futures, they're still up sharply. A very good sign this morning. 123-point gain on the Dow futures. We have some of the testimony from Jack Lew that he's giving in front of the Senate Finance Committee, and he's essentially reiterating exactly what we were talking about. Why play chicken and say we'll pay some things and not others? Quote, there's no way of knowing the irrevocable damage such an approach would have on our economy and financial markets. And at bottom of the hour, we're going to get weekly jobless claims, filings for unemployment benefits. This report will probably be more critical than in recent memory because we're not getting those numbers, the jobs report. We didn't get it from the federal government. This we'll get because it's collected by the states.
Thanks, Dagan. 13 after the hour, changing lives. What really goes on at the Imus Cattle Ranch for Kids with Cancer. This outstanding documentary that the Fox Business Network did, Conor McShane and Noel Aliche produced it and so on, will air at 9 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday morning on the Fox Business Network. And if you've ever wondered what's going on out there, or if you've contributed money to the Imus Ranch and want to see where it went, they really did a great job. And congratulations to a guy, I don't know him, but Joe Beaver tells me he's a nice guy. Sid Miller, he's used to be in the House of Representatives, I believe, in Texas. The boy owns a bunch of roping horses and other horses. And his horse, Pearl, that Cody Ohl, who's one of the great calf ropers ever, Pearl won Horse of the Year. So I remember last year at Sweetness, that horse owned by that crazy woman, old Karen Herbst. Well, she's not crazy, but good crazy, but. And that woman started to pussy ride, got all them kitties.
Yeah.
So congratulations to old Sid. And
Sid.
Cody Ohl.
All right.
And those folks. Anyway, it's time for sports, and sports is sponsored by Short Hills Aviation. If you're smart, savvy, and successful, you don't want to fly anyone other than Short Hills Aviation. Here with sports is Warner Wolf. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, Iron Man. So it'll be the Cardinals and the Dodgers for the National League pennant. Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-1, win the series 3-2. Adam Wainwright all the way scattered 8 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. Here was the last out of the game called by Dave Fleming, ESPN.
The 2-strike pitch on the way. Alvarez strikes out swinging. And the Cardinals are headed back to the National League Championship Series.
Here was Wainwright on his complete game.
In my mind, if you pitch the game you should be your own closer.
Yeah, that's it. You open and you close. Tonight at 5:05 in Oakland, that's 8:05 Eastern Time.
Fine.
6:05 in Ribera. 1:05 a.m. in London.
Right.
2:05 in Paris. 3:05 in Tel Aviv.
It's time, guys.
Oh, the Tigers and A's, Game 5. The winner plays the Red Sox for the American League pennant.
Wow.
Justin Verlander against A's 23-year-old rookie Sonny Gray, who both of them pitched shutout ball in Game 2. With an offer from the Cubs looming, the Yankees have made Joe Girardi the second highest paid manager in baseball history, next to Mike Scioscia. $4 million per year for 4 years. And Diamondbacks general manager Kevin Towers has had enough. He fired his pitching coach, saying the D-back pitchers did not retaliate enough and protect the Arizona hitters like all-star Paul Goldschmidt. Towers also talked about a September 9th game in which the D-back pitchers gave up 6 home runs but were having fun in the San Diego dugout.
When they showed up on the diamond vision of, stuffing bananas down their throats, and I felt like we were a punching bag. Literally, if I would have had a carton of baseballs, I would have fired them into the dugout.
Oh, that'll get back at him.
16 after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program. So Tony Palla's funny idea. Get 3 paintings all done by monkeys. So I took photographs of the 3 paintings, put them on a board, took them over to the Museum of Modern Art, and asked patrons, people coming into the Museum of Modern Art, for an analysis and opinion about these 3 works of art. Roll that, Bigfoot. Today.
One of these 3 paintings was painted by a famous artist. The other 2 are by up-and-coming artists. I want to know if you can guess which famous artist painted them.
I'm thinking that there's something in here that's deeper than just the paint and the colors that I'm seeing. If I stood here long enough, I'm thinking that I would see some figures and I would see a message. Like I could almost see a female figure right there, right? So that's why I'm thinking, more than the other 2, that is a famous artist that painted that.
This one is great.
It's outstanding.
I think it is. Because of the burst, you could think of dancing, you could think of flowers blooming. This one, because of the basic simplicity of the colors, and it has quite a few, but they're in a swift movement.
Right.
If you can picture under the sea, a wave pushing it up or pushing the flotsam and jetsam up to the surface.
Okay.
That would be reminiscent to me.
If you had an opportunity to purchase that, you would purchase that?
Yeah, depending on the price.
Well, price is always the bottom line.
At least if it was less than $17 million.
I think it's less than $17 million. What is it about this painting? Does it move you at all emotionally?
I love the way he throws the yellow out amongst the darkened colors in the background. So that splash of yellow color just gives you a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, it's genius.
Pictures all done by monkeys. Yeah. 18 after the hour.
That's good.
Bernie's on his way over. He'll have some pretty funny stuff in the Jimmy Kimmel Show coming up. And then we'll talk with Monica Crowley. David Lee Roth is after the hour there on the Imus in the Morning program. That was so funny last time, Bernie. Those the rock stars reading bad tweets about themselves.
Yes.
We have to do that again. But do you have something else for the Bernie briefing?
Yes, we have a couple of things,
All
boss.
right.
We have, first of all, we have the clip of Hannity and Anthony Weiner from last night. 30,
let me see that.
30-second clip. Anthony Weiner on with Hannity being half a smartass. Take a listen.
You're auditioning for MSNBC. You're auditioning. You want Chris Matthews' job.
Listen,
I can tell. You want to ask the questions. You want to be Chris Matthews.
Here's the problem.
You never shut up like Chris Matthews either.
Why do you always have patsies on? You just guys think, why is it you don't want to have someone who pushes you a little bit on the basic assumptions of your argument?
Listen, you want a job at MSNBC. I got it. Now I know why you came here today.
Fox apparently has much lower standards. I'd much have a job on Fox.
Oh, ouch. Ooh. Want me to talk about low standards? You really want to go there?
Hey, listen, Anthony Weiner was pretty damn good.
That was a good one from Hannity.
That was very good one from Hannity. But Weiner's, MSNBC would be smart to snap him up, if you ask me. But, but in any case, Jimmy Kimmel last night, let's get to that, boss.
You know, CNN's got to hire somebody. We all forget about them. But how much they suck. It's unbelievable how much they suck. They put people on who are so offensive, and it's incomprehensible. Like I told you, I was watching them the other day for just a few seconds, and I don't know anything about television necessarily, but I kept asking myself, what is the goal here? It was so awful.
Oh, yeah, the Crossfire thing.
Oh, my God.
Your friend Jake Tapper and Anderson Cooper.
Oh, my God.
Those guys. Well, the Crossfire thing is particularly bad.
Oh, my God.
Well, last night on the Jimmy Kimmel show, boss, he sent somebody out to some hip-hop show to ask the attendees about some phony bands. He's done it before. It's hilarious. Take a listen.
This is a big hip-hop show with Wu-Tang Clan, Kid Cudi, Common, Too Short, Pusha T, and also with none of the following names we made up for this special Rock the Bells edition of Live Witness News.
Are you excited about the concert?
I am.
Who are you here to see?
I'm old school, man. I feel like I'm a little older than most of these young kids. I'm like Wu-Tang, for sure, Bone Thugs.
Well, let's go jump into some of the old school people. Like, what do you feel about Voldemort?
I'm not too much of a fan. Not my cup of tea, per se.
And what about Voldemort?
Voldemort, I'm not really like a huge fan of them, but I mess with their music sometimes. Like, it's not like my preference, but I listen to them.
Do you like Weasley better?
Yeah, Weasley's better. I feel like it's more of my type of music. Everyone has like different types of music, and
Harry, you said you liked his song Firecrotch?
Yeah, that was tight.
I mean, have you guys heard of Big Misogynist?
Yeah.
Big Misogynist? I mean, what do you like about Big Misogynist?
I mean, dude, like, just like the way he like brings it to the table.
The way he
like,
presents
like,
himself.
The way you present yourself, the way you do things. Like
that he actually talks about and stuff.
Like, just tell me one of the metaphors he talks about.
I mean, I don't know right off the top of my
head. Dude, you're putting me on spot in the wrong time, as you can say that, but...
I mean, are you excited to see Walter White featuring meth?
Yes.
Well, how come?
Walter White? I've heard he's like very diverse as an artist. I'm not really familiar with him, but I'm more familiar with Method Man.
You're saying that he's sort of intense?
Yeah.
Walter White?
Yes.
Kind of crazy?
Basically.
I mean, do you listen to Skinny Pete and Badger?
Yeah.
You like them?
They're all right.
But he did save the best for last. Take a listen to this.
Are you excited for some of the newer acts like Little Jizz?
Oh, yeah. Little Jizz, be tight.
Who do you like more, Big Jizzy or Little Jizzy?
Big Jizzy.
How come?
Huh?
How come?
Been in the game longer.
Yeah. Are you excited about the Big Jizz, Little Jizz reunion?
Actually, I am. I really am. I want to see the hype up. I want to see what they can do and perform, and it shocked me. You know, it's going to be pretty good.
I mean, well, what do you think about Big Jizz?
The way he raps about it, the way he confesses his songs, and, you know, it's real feelings.
It's like his verses really kind of stick to you?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can relate to some of these shit.
So can we just get like a shout out to Jizz?
Can I get a shout out to Jizz right here?
31 after the hour here at the Imus of the Morning program. We don't have time to run that thing again on the tweet, the Rockstar tweets.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
I think we do. We'll be a little late for Monica Crowley.
That's all right. She's fine.
The celebrity musicians
she used to be on TV all the time.
So celebrity musicians reading mean tweets about themselves. Take a listen.
Tonight, in honor of Kanye West's appearance, we bring you a special musician edition of Mean Tweets.
hate when people ask me why I hate Selena Gomez. Like, I just do.
John Legend seems like he cries after sex.
Jared Leto can suck my
That Demi Lovato song, Make It Stop, please.
I'd rather hear Morgan Freeman talk me through masturbation than hear Darius Rucker sing a power ballad.
Zach Brown Band, your music used to be good, and I could jam to it, but now it sucks major. Fix it, holy.
Lady Antebellum singing the national anthem actually kind of makes me hate America.
Pharrell looks like a sewer rat.
John Mayer looks like a booze-soaked turd wrapped in a Dumb and Dumber tux.
So Adam Levine is old.
Thinking of unfriending everyone on Facebook whose status update is Kid Rock concert was awesome. Have a little respect for yourself.
Mayor Hawthorne looks and sounds like a
Kesha is a crack whore.
I don't know your music, because I don't drive a pickup, and I don't sleep with my sister. Fair enough.
2 Chainz looks like Whoopi Goldberg.
Very funny stuff. 33 after the hour. Monica Crowley's next to Lou. Of course, y'all can't hear him around the world on the radio or around the country on television. But we have these local commercials at WABC Radio New York and these various doctors, and they all sound insane. And the last person on the planet you would want to go see.
Well,
except one of the best doctors I know, Dr. Aaron Katz, who is my urologist, is one of the people who advertises on.
See?
Well, I don't know if it's a Winthrop Hospital or whatever. Anyway, Monica Crowley is a host and political foreign affairs analyst for the Fox News Channel and a host of the nationally syndicated radio program, now rodeo.
Well, I could do rodeo, too.
The Monica, yeah, baby. Yeah. The Monica Crowley Show. She's been a regular panelist. Remember the old McLaughlin group? Is that still on?
It's still on, yeah.
And she used to be at MSNBC when we were there.
Yep.
She's written a number of New York Times bestsellers. And by the way, she served as foreign policy assistant to former President Richard Nixon from 1990 until Mr. Nixon died in 1994. And then she wrote 2 bestsellers about her experience, Nixon Off the Record and Nixon in Winter. Please welcome to the program, Monica Crowley. Good morning, Dr. Crowley.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. I thought we were going to spend some time talking about your urologist there. That was.
But, you know, I was saying earlier this morning, I said, we have Monica Crowley on all the time, and I said, I get the feeling, and I do, that what you have done, because you're a bright person.
Thank you.
Too bright to hold the opinions you hold about them.
Stop.
That's one.
Stop.
But I get the feeling that you memorize all of these idiotic right-wing talking points, and then come in here, and no matter what I say, you just then rattle them off. Is that pretty much true?
That is totally inaccurate.
It's not.
Do you know how much reading and writing and analyzing that I do independently of anybody else? There are no talking points here. And by the way, I've been proven right for the last 5 years on everything I've ever said about President Obama and the left and the Democrat Party and Obamacare and foreign policy and everything else.
So when you went to work for Nixon in 1990, was he back in California then?
No, he was in New Jersey, Bergen County.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
And did you go to the house and work there, or what happened?
No, he had an office in Bergen County, so I was there pretty much every day. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get the job?
I wrote him a letter.
You did?
I love this story. Yeah, when I talk to young people especially, I tell them this story because the message is, the lesson is, a little initiative can go a long way and change your life. I'd read one of his foreign policy books.
Hang on a second here.
Okay.
Pay attention, boys and girls.
Yeah, yes. No, this is a really important message. I read one of his foreign policy books, and at that time, he'd write a new one every 2 years. Right. So I read the most recent one at that time, and it had such a tremendous impact on my thinking about American foreign policy, national security, and actually changed the way I thought about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, that I sat down and I wrote him a letter. It was not particularly a fan letter, although I did say that I admired him, which I did, but it was a letter that dealt with the issues that he raised in the book. And I mailed it. I basically had no address for him either. I mailed a copy to Simon & Schuster, and I mailed a copy to the post office in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, because that's how he signed his author's note. In the book, he put RN, Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, and the date. So I sent these 2 letters to places where I never thought he would ever see the letter. And about a month later, I got a handwritten note back from Richard Nixon. And that started a 4-year adventure working with him as a foreign policy assistant.
Did it bother you that he was one of the most disgraced people in the history of politics in America?
He left office in disgrace, that is right. But he was also one of the most brilliant and visionary people in American history.
Yes, he was. But he was completely, totally insane.
No, he was not.
He wasn't?
No, I can vouch for his character because I spent 4 years working in close proximity with him, traveled around the world with him, met with heads of state with whom he met, Boris Yeltsin, the entire Chinese Communist leadership. I watched this man in every kind of situation with his family, his wife, his girls, his grandchildren, crowds, the American people, and I'm telling you, he was not insane. He was the most kind, generous, brilliant, funny man that I think I've ever met.
Didn't, though, in the final days, to coin the title of a book, there in the White House, though, wasn't he pretty much drunk all the time? He and Kissinger going around?
Well, first of all, he wasn't drunk all the time.
Some of the time.
Did he have a drink or two? Probably. The presidency was coming crashing down on his head, largely by his own hand, which he admitted. So, yeah, I think there was something of a breakdown that happened there, but he's a human being, and of course you would expect that kind of thing to sort of happen at the end.
Did he ever talk to you about that at all?
He did, yeah. We did talk about it. We talked about Watergate a lot, actually, and in my book, Nixon in Winter, there's a whole long section in there about his final thoughts on that.
The truth is he was brilliant.
Brilliant.
He was a great president, could have been.
You know what's interesting, too, when you look at the 20th century, the presidents who intellectually had the greatest firepower, who were the smartest intellectually, actually got themselves into the most trouble. You could say Woodrow Wilson, you could say Richard Nixon, you could put Bill Clinton in that category. Really intellectually brilliant people who just on a base level had very little common sense when they should have gone down one road and they took another road instead.
It's inexplicable. Well, Bill Clinton is brilliant, was brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's crazy, isn't it?
And making stupid mistakes.
When you wrote this letter to President Nixon, did you send a photograph with it?
I did not.
Or you didn't?
I get that question a lot, but no, I did not.
Because it sounded like an idiot, which is easy for me to do. Nixon did hire good-looking women.
Well, Diane Sawyer, right?
Well,
yeah. And then later, yeah. Thank
I
you.
know it sounds hideously.
I'm blushing now. I'm so embarrassed.
Superficial, but I thought that's,
Well, he was no dummy. Like we said, he was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, he didn't hire dumb people.
No, he surrounded himself, and look, this is the mark of a truly great leader, is surrounding themselves with people who know more than they do about certain subjects.
Yeah.
So he brings on Henry Kissinger, even though he himself was brilliant on national security and foreign policy. This president, the current president, has not done that. And that's the mark of an insecure leader, when you think you know everything, and you know everything about everything and know more than anybody else, so why would I possibly bring around me anybody who's smarter than I am on any issue, because they don't exist? That's when presidents get themselves in trouble.
Did you get to know Kissinger very well?
Not very well, but well enough, yeah. And I admire him so much.
Did he ever hit on you?
He did not.
He didn't?
No.
What?
He's married. He's a married man. No, of course not.
He's a married man. Oh, well, that precludes him ever hitting on you.
He did not. No. I have
what did
ultimate
Nixon really
respect
think
for
of Kissinger? Did he ever tell you?
Yeah. I think when they were in the White House, and I think the White House is a crucible anyway for ambition and intellect and all the rest of it. I think there was something of a rivalry there in the White House. But then after the White House years, they were good friends. They used to call each other a couple times a week and say, "Did you see this? Did you see what the president did about this? I'm thinking about writing an op-ed on this. What do you think?" So there was a good intellectual interplay between the two of them and a good friendship.
Let me ask you a current events question while you're here. Hey, did you notice the other night when you were on O'Reilly with Alan?
Yeah.
By the way, I love Alan Combs.
He was just on, by the way. I saw him upstairs.
No, he's really good. He's smart, and he's really funny.
Very funny.
But remember
totally wrong about everything, but very funny.
Remember when Bill brought up, Bill lost it and called him a liar and all that? He really lost his temper.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that O'Reilly brought that up again the other night because it obviously still bothers him. So.
And it may, because Bill O'Reilly, he plays tough guy on TV, and he is a tough guy, but he's a very good and decent person. And I think when that flew out of his mouth, I think he instantly felt bad about it. He apologized for it at the end of the segment.
No, it's not
and, it's done. Water under the bridge.
The question I wanted to ask you, no, it's not. No, it's not water under the bridge, by the way. But anyway. Will we renege on our debt?
No, we will not default on our debt unless the President of the United States decides we're going to default on our debt.
Can't imagine
it's totally in his hands. He's got the ultimate power and authority over that. We have plenty of money coming in through tax revenue every single month to cover debt service. So unless he actively and deliberately chooses to default, we will not.
That's a fascinating story, to be serious for a moment. Your Nixon story about writing a letter to him.
Yeah.
You may have told me that before, but you could have told me an hour ago, and I wouldn't remember. But that's a good. But you're right.
It's a Cinderella story.
But that's a great lesson for people.
Yeah, thank you. You know what? A little bit of initiative, and I never thought I'd get a response from President Nixon. I mailed it to his publisher and to a post office.
Let's not belabor it now.
I know, but the lesson here is a little bit of effort can go a long way and change your life.
You made your point. Get out of the studio, or we will have security remove you. Monica
the security guys are cute. I'll take it.
Yeah, Monica Crowley here on the Imus in the Morning program. Well, before we get to anything else, here's what I find. I send Carly over to the commissary.
This is very important.
Here at the Fox building. Now this, when they get the oatmeal, Carly.
Yeah.
Is the oatmeal in a big vat? Is that the deal?
Yeah, they make it in this big tub.
Yeah, they got a guy swimming in there.
And so then so whoever's over there at the commissary, he gets it out and puts some of it in
the cup that I gave you. Yeah.
Okay. Then does he add anything to it?
Oh man.
After that, no, just the craisins.
He's a big fan of yours.
They're like the dried cranberries.
So why is it so watery?
Because the vat that it was made in had a lot of extra water in it. The whole thing was watery, but
yeah, that's it, water.
Little yellow.
If you let it sit for about 5 minutes, it'll thicken up.
How do you know that?
Because I'm a human being and I've eaten oatmeal before.
That's what he used to tell Deirdre. I'm a human. Is that funny, Carly?
No.
Well, all right.
That golden hue ain't honey.
But this is from Texas. So you have this guy who apparently wanted to party with his friend so bad that he staged his own kidnapping so his wife wouldn't give him a hard time about leaving the house.
Don't give him ideas.
He's facing criminal charges, this dude. Now, he's 34 years old. Rogelio and Verde, I believe is his name. San Antonio Express News is where we got the story from. He's from a place called Edinburgh in the border region, Texas-Mexico border, and he's at home with his wife, and these two guys with masks on come storming into the house carrying guns. They force him from his home, so his wife obviously is worried. She calls the police. They have a helicopter out searching for him, and then investigations going nowhere. They can't find him. Police becoming a little suspicious, but the guy thought he fooled everybody. He just casually returns home, and he tells his wife that the kidnappers showed mercy on him, and they set him free. But later on, he admits the whole thing, says, no, I just wanted to go out drinking with my friends, and he staged the kidnapping, so he would get taken away. How about that?
That is really a brilliant idea. This guy's my new hero. It's just too bad he got caught.
7 to 7:30, man. My wife and I are locked in.
Jeopardy.
There it is.
No doubt.
Use your brain.
Who is Dan Burrito?
Yeah, right. Use your brain.
Wait, no, just hang on a second.
What is 30-30?
7 to 7:30, you do what?
We eat dinner and watch Jeopardy.
What is a pregame show?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
You watch Jeopardy.
Oh, absolutely.
Whet your appetite for Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, man.
What is a
Come
set?
on, Vanna.
What is a set
You
schedule?
got it. Of course, you're kidding.
No, I'm not
What
kidding.
is a loser?
No. Come on.
You
use your
really
brain.
are. Yeah, you are just. You really are just a loser.
What are you talking? That's great for your mind.
Keeps the mind sharp.
Well, I'll tell you what's great for your mind. You know, I probably shouldn't make this observation, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Because it's another thing I'm curious about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look great, Dagan.
Thank you.
Careful.
Yeah,
And you look better than you used to look.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, sir.
Conversely, Carly,
Right.
who used to look great, she still looks great.
Be very careful here.
But once,
Gosh.
Where are we going?
but once she nailed down Pete,
Oh, Jesus.
she pretty much just
Not this.
puts on her sweatpants and comes to work. You know what I'm
You are
saying?
just out of your mind.
So,
That is so
You know what?
not true.
That's all she has to do, actually.
Exactly.
Oh.
Done
so I
deal.
just. Well, I decided, is there anything we need to know, Dagan? What?
No, Dagan gets her hair and makeup done every day. I do this myself.
Right. Well, good, and congratulations.
Sound like Carly was-
You're also
Well, it's true. Dagan, back me up.
Hey, didn't it sound like Carly was just throwing Dagan under the...
Yeah, you're 14 years old, Carly.
That was
Carly's
Carly's. That's Carly's code for. You should see what this.
Exactly.
You know what looks like when she comes to work.
That's exactly what she was
This
saying.
is not Carly. You're horrible.
You're right. I am looking a little rough today. All right.
No,
Okay,
that's
well.
not where Carly was throwing me under the bus. That's all right.
Well, exactly what happened. Because I was prepared to scream about none of the New York Times or any of these other outlets, because they all went out of their way to point out on Monday night that Megyn Kelly's ratings, this new show at 9 p.m. on the Fox Network, Fox News Channel, that she lost to Rachel Maddow in the 25-54 demo by the way, 9,000 people. So it's like a jump ball. And I thought, well, because Deirdre sent me an email this morning about some obscure website that pointed out that for night 2 on Megyn Kelly's ratings were unbelievably stupendous. For example, in this 25-54 demographic, which apparently all of these television shows try to attract because that's the age of people who buy stuff, I guess they say. So they do. So on Monday night, Rachel Maddow had 291,000, 25-54, and Megyn Kelly had, she had 299,000, and Megyn Kelly had 298,000. God, I'll get you confused here.
Oh, this is going to be like Mike and the Mad Dog.
This is like, there was a 9,000 difference. Well, Tuesday night, Megyn Kelly had 6. My figures are right because I'm reading from the New York Times, Bill Carter's column. Megyn Kelly went from 289 to 623,000 people in the 25-54 demo. And while Miss Maddow, who's fine, she had 291,000. So Megyn beat her by almost 400,000 people.
Wow.
And I was prepared to scream all morning about the fact that you won't read that in the New York Times until I read the New York Times, and here it is.
Ruined everything.
Yeah. So ruined my entire day. So
well, we'll do this with the World Series, too, the ratings and everything. So this will be great.
Well, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, 7 minutes after the hour, so the Mensa meeting is coming up, which is good. Happy birthday to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is 39. And Gavin Newsom, didn't we have him on one time, Lou?
Yes.
Kind of like him. He's 46.
That's Kimberly Guilfoyle's ex-husband.
Yep.
That's right.
Ooh. Oh, no, that's not. Who's the guy we had on who sings? Gavin.
DeGraw.
Oh, DeGraw.
The creepy dude.
This is the guy who's a mayor in
Gotta
San
wake
Francisco.
up.
You thinking?
We could do a whole list of Kimberly Guilfoyle's ex-husbands. How many times she's been married? About 9 times, hasn't she? Jan
Twice,
Leese?
I think.
Gavin DeGraw.
I'm
Never to Gavin DeGraw. As
Did
well
we
as
have
you
him
did.
on once?
Wow.
Gavin McLeod came on, I think, a couple weeks after that.
You ever been married to?
Murray!
Whatever.
Whatever is right.
Isaac the bartender came on, too.
It's also Tanya Tucker's birthday. That girl is,
yeah.
that dirty little girl. That's outlaw.
She's exactly how I like it.
She's still looking good, too.
Yeah. She's lived a tough life.
Yeah.
The girl alone.
No, I don't think the word's been invented yet. Tough? No.
Dragged behind a pickup truck tough.
Looks
Yeah,
like
she's,
looks like she invented cigarettes.
Tanya Tucker, yeah, doesn't she?
God.
Yeah, that girl is.
They should put an ad out with her. It's unbelievable.
She's 55. She started young. She was like 15.
It's too bad, too.
When she was 15, she looked 55.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man. How you doing?
I'm Tanya Tucker for Viceroy.
Oh, man.
She looks like
in the 8th grade.
She looks like Paula Dean already.
What?
Now she looks like Paula Dean.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How y'all doing?
But she and Delbert McClinton made a great record at one point called Tell Me About It. And I think in those days,
Between cigarette breaks.
old Delbert was out on the loose for a long time. So, but I think in those days they actually were in the studio together when they cut it, but maybe not. So now they just.
Delbert couldn't see her through all the smoke.
Tell me about it, Delbert.
All right, Tanya, you still there? You said
It was a
this
great
part.
record. It really was a good record. So I'll tell you, I'll play it for you in a minute.
Got a match?
She sounds tougher than Delbert. Does she? Anyway.
She sounds tougher than The Rock. She sounds
tougher than
The
Mike
Rock.
Baker.
Yeah, what are you kidding?
Mike Baker.
Should send her to Afghanistan.
But she works for Mike Baker. Anyway.
What do we get for this one? Let's call Tanya.
She sounds tougher than James Earl Jones.
Tanya.
Oh, God.
But she's still apparently trying to get it done, or is getting it done, or whatever she's doing. She's down there in Nashville somewhere. Just man. Time for the news now. 11 minutes after the hour. And here with that is Conor McShane. Morning, Conor.
Morning, I'm man. The Treasury Secretary Jack Lew up on Capitol Hill. He's testifying this morning before Senate committee and talking about what might happen if we don't come up with a way to raise the debt ceiling. Now, the issue more than anything else is the potential reaction in the financial markets. Here's the Secretary.
If Congress fails to meet its responsibility, it could deeply damage financial markets, the ongoing economic recovery.
So you get the point, right?
He's reading from some.
He's another Goldman Sachs thief, this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Treasury Secretary.
Another Wall Street weasel. Who's, man.
So the current debate is about, as I said, how would the markets react if we don't raise the ceiling before whatever the X date is when Treasury doesn't have enough money to pay the bills? And the fact is we don't know because it's never happened before, and I guess that's his larger point today. President Obama meets with House Republicans, Senate Democrats. There's been some talk, by the way, maybe a little sign of progress, and this has been led in part by Congressman Paul Ryan, of a short-term debt ceiling increase. Secretary Lew did say this morning the administration's open to that, so maybe we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Whoa, strange story this morning over in Libya involving the prime minister of that country, Ali Zidane. He's free now. He was abducted earlier today, though, for whatever reason. The prime minister was living in a hotel room in Tripoli, and armed militants stormed into that room pre-dawn. They took him away. And then hours later, we heard he was free. We don't know exactly what happened, but there's been some reporting the Libyan military may have had a role in getting him back, that his captors didn't just say, hey, you're free. But he
Speaking of that, isn't that goofy Pope we have now? He's still He's not over
Pardon
there at
me?
the Vatican yet, is he, Bernie?
Goofy Pope?
Well,
yeah, wait. Let's just back up a second here.
Isn't he in an apartment or a Motel
No,
6 in Rome?
he's in the Vatican.
Pope Francis. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think your point is he doesn't live in the palace as some other. Because he's a humble guy. Lives in a different area of the Vatican.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, Pope
well, where
Francis,
is he?
sure.
In the Holy
No,
Day
this guy
Inn.
is for real.
In the Holy Day Inn.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Very good, Godfather.
It's good, Godfather.
So that's it. Yeah, he's a humble pope. The pope of the people. Yeah.
Yes, beloved by all, except the devil right here.
Right.
Well, you two are just spent half your life covering up for the Catholic Church.
It is
Why
universal.
wouldn't that continue?
Everybody
That's not
loves
what's
this pope.
happening. Yeah, what's wrong with this guy so far?
I didn't say there was anything wrong with him. I just said he seemed like about a half a whack job.
Goofy Pope?
Well, but,
There you go.
They got a whole apartment for him there in the Vatican.
So?
Check it out, dude. So, all right, 13 after the hour. What else going on?
Well, so this guy's free in Libya. Hey, this story back here in New York, the undercover detective, a cop now facing charges for his role in the biker road rage incident. So they brought him in yesterday. It's all over the papers today in New York. His name is Wojciech Bruszczak, this undercover detective. He faces gang assault charges. So the video that we've all seen by now, these bikers in the heading up the West Side Highway in New York and eventually dragging that man out of his
He was
SUV.
one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
They say the video shows him actually punching in the rear window of that SUV.
That's great.
Here, if you want to hear an explanation, here's his lawyer.
This particular video in question exonerates my client. It's an absolute overcharge. The video, Your Honor, depicts my client at all times 12 feet or more away from the victim.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it was away from the victim. He was trying to get to the kid.
They say it's the guy that hit in the back window, which we just showed on TV.
Right.
But now they're saying, it's not. I guess they're saying that's not him. That he was away. He wasn't near it.
Coach Officer Einstein never thought anybody would be taping this.
Yeah.
More or less one of the their own people that was on the bike.
Quarter after the hour, time for some business news. Don't forget, Dagan and Connell will do their very fine show on the Fox Business Network coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So, any big special guests we could all look forward to today?
Dagan?
You know who it is.
Who's our special guest?
A man formerly known as Vanilla Ice is on today.
Yeah, that's right.
He has a
All
TV
right.
show on HGTV. Is it HGTV or DIY? Might be
DIY.
DIY.
Better get it straight.
Robert Van Winkle.
Don't mess with ice.
Oh, yeah.
He's into home renovations now.
Oh, the Iron Man knows. You were a big Vanilla Ice fan.
He was.
Yeah.
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
That's right.
You have got to be jerking my chain.
Jerking your what? No, swear to God. We'd talk.
Swear to God.
What do you want to talk about? The debt ceiling? Well, we'll do that too.
Who books your guests?
We have people on from these home renovation channels because, frankly, it's popular.
Yeah. Well, HGTV is a great network.
And DIY, man, do it yourself.
Do it yourself, all
So,
right.
Mr. Ass, when you wrote Ass Baby,
This is going to be great.
Give me any chance to talk about hammers, and I'm there.
Dagan goes.
Who's going to interview this?
The two of us.
The two of us
Both of us.
together.
This is going to
What
be
time do you think this will be?
11, I think 40 something.
Yeah.
50
I got to go do
11:45.
some stuff this morning, but about when? What time?
11:45 roughly.
Well, TiVo it.
Of
Thank
course
you.
you will.
There you go.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
And
what's the
we'll
whole
play it,
hour?
and we'll play it on this program tomorrow.
Oh, this will be terrific.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so that's coming.
Crap.
no pressure with the big interview.
Oh,
Have any
God.
questions you'd like us to ask him?
I hope he has the hat on sideways.
Mr. Ice?
Coming up on 17 after the hour. Let's do a little.
Mr. Van
We
Winkle.
don't have time for
How's the
business.
show?
Can I
today.
just give you the futures? I should give you the jobless claims.
What
Futures
are
are
they?
up 134. They unexpectedly surged last week. 66,000 gain to 374,000, but it's a computer glitch in California largely that caused it.
All right, time for sports now. And here with that is Warner Wolf, Morning Warner.
Good morning,
17 after the
Imans.
hour.
So it's the Cardinals and Dodgers National League pennant as the Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-1, win the series 3-2. Adam Wainwright all the way, scattered 8 hits, struck out 6, walked only 1. Now Wainwright, to avoid the eye contact of his manager, just said he didn't look at him because he didn't want to be taken out of the game.
I didn't even look over here when I was up to bat that last inning. I didn't even go by him. I walked out of the middle of the dugout and went out there. I didn't even look back to see if I could swing or anything. I didn't want him to make eye contact with me at all.
That's a way to do it. Now, tonight, 5:05 in Oakland. That's, of course, Eastern Time, 8:05. The Tigers and A's, Game 5. The winner will play the Red Sox for the American League pennant. It's Justin Verlander against the A's 23-year-old rookie Sonny Gray, who last night gave a waiter his 2 ticket allotments to the game.
No, don't do this again.
It's a different one.
Okay.
You know what the waiter said about Gray?
What's that, Warner Wolf?
What?
Here's what he said.
You smiled at me.
Sonny.
That worked better.
And Joe Girardi.
Waiter, there's a fly in my drink.
Check, please.
Joe Girardi is re-signed with the Yankees 4 years, $4 million per year.
No, that's not my coat. That's the other one.
Awesome.
And my time
18
is
after the hour here in the Imus Morning program. Here's that Deborah McClinton, Tanya Tucker record I was talking to you about called Tell Me About It. I believe Tanya sings first. Come on, girl.